You gotta admit, Emma does look cute.
Although I gotta admit, best $500 I have spent in a long time. I gotta admit, Pierce isn't a whole lot of it.
I gotta admit, I came pretty close to leaving you.
I gotta admit, that was a pretty cool way to learn about the rook.
I gotta admit, it's tempting.
Yeah.
All right, I gotta admit, I only read a couple because it was a very large packet you sent.
I must confess I expected love to feel somewhat different than this.
I must confess to some curiosity as to the matter of your conversation.
I must confess, I carry it with me everywhere.
I must confess, the news did come as something of a surprise to us.
Donna, I have to confess something.
I have to confess, I underestimated you.
And you can't deny that you knew what you were doing and how it made them feel.
You are the best in the biz, I can't deny.
Or her motive is so obvious she can't deny it.
I can't deny your point, but unlike you, I've always assumed I'd be a failure anyway.
Well, I can't remember the last time we all sat down and had a meal together.
No, actually, I can't remember the last time I cooked.
I can't remember the last time I laughed like this.
Also, I have to say, I can't remember the last time I saw Nick like this.
I can't remember the last time I saw you in this suit and tie.
I can't remember the last time that we had a PhD over for dinner.
I can't remember the last time I got a mani-pedi.
Feels like forever since we just hung out.
It's forever since we had lunch.
Seems like forever since I've seen you.
It feels like forever since you broke up with Courtney.
Me? I mean, it's been forever since we've both seen it, and we've spent so many happy times there.
It's been a long time since you called me early.
It's been a long time since we were this close.
It's been a long time since I heard preaching like that.
I have to think, the only thing sweeter than winning a gold medal is sharing it with your fellow country.
Now, she's receiving her gold medal.
And what does a new gold medal mean for you?
And the winner of the gold medal is, and next, the silver medal. And the silver medal goes to Richie.
And the gold medal goes to the winner of the silver medal, Jimmy. Now the bronze medal goes to...
And the second runner-up is Miss California.
And our fourth runner-up, ladies and gentlemen. And here it is, our second runner-up. And now, it's time for the first runner-up.
You are the new Snow Queen runner-up. I suppose that means we have to go with the runner-up then, which is...
He's come in second place in the Nationals for 2 years in a row.
In second place, Melina Birch.
Second place, and in first place, third place.
Nice. Both the first and the second place winners will travel to the United States.
Second place, we have the Quarantine Bears.
And in second place, William Mittman from Franklin High School.
In third place.
In third place. He needs a win or the points from another second or third place to put him in the finale.
Painting the picture, I'm sensing there's a podium in the future for Mighty Maggie, Olga.
And although it's a tight race, it appears as if a spot on the podium is Maggie's to lose. Yep.
The winner of this race is guaranteed a spot on the podium. He just needs to hold this position to finish on the podium. Wow. That might be enough to get him on the podium.
You only got one lap to go to pick up that final position if you want a podium.
I mean, don't get me wrong, I have a great job, but... I mean, don't get me wrong, he did give up a presidential suite for me, which is...
I mean, don't get me wrong, it's a great school.
I mean, don't get me wrong, I love the baby to bits. I really do, you know.
I mean, don't get me wrong, if anyone deserves what you do, she does, but...
I mean, don't get me wrong, I am thrilled to know that you used to like me, and I will bring it up constantly.
I thought I made myself clear.
I thought I'd made myself clear.
I thought I made myself clear.
Perhaps I didn't make myself clear.
Perhaps I'm not making myself clear.
I hope I've made myself clear on this point, and
I'm making myself clear now, aren't I?
I'm not trying to argue with you.
Do I make myself clear?
Do you understand, Alex? Do I make myself clear?
Please don't misunderstand me or...
Jack, don't misunderstand who's in charge here.
Don't misunderstand me, but you have to look farther.
I'm going to go ahead and do this just as slowly as possible so you don't misunderstand.
Sorry, Frank, but I'm gonna go crash and burn with Cuddy. Call me.
They're gonna crash and burn on this combination.
I'm probably gonna crash and burn, but thanks for sticking out with me anyway.
How many times do you have to watch this crash and burn before you say enough?
You're right. If I crash and burn on my test today, that's on you.
I can't have you crash and burn like you did 2 years ago.
There's a million reasons a relationship can crash and burn.
I want Mike Chadway to go down in flames. I want...
Honey, their first marriage went down in flames.
Now,
You're going down in flames, and I want to be there when you go splat.
Right now, if you don't take this seriously, the whole fucking movie's gonna go down in flames.
And when it all goes down in flames, and I don't mean that figuratively, I expect there to be actual flames.
It's a complete failure.
It's your complete failure.
I didn't say I was a complete failure.
I'm a complete and utter failure.
And I'm a complete and utter failure as a mother.
I never thought that my sister would find someone who cared about what other people thought as much as she did until I met Craig.
I never thought my sister would find someone who cared about what other people thought as much as she did until I met Craig.
Never cared about what people thought.
You didn't care about what people thought.
Sheldon, you've never cared what people thought.
I never cared about what people thought about me.
You never cared about what I thought or felt while I was alive.
Loving it as much as he did is...
Nate loved Maddie as much as he did.
almost as much as you did.
I work as much as she does.
You're lucky she puts up with you as much as she does.
Who cared about what other people thought as much as she did. Who cared about what other people thought as much as she did. I never thought that my sister would find someone who cared about what other people thought as much as she did until I met Craig.
Because as far as I'm concerned, it never happened.
It's not necessary as far as I'm concerned.
You've done your time as far as I'm concerned.
As far as I'm concerned, somebody, somewhere, made a decision to cut a corner.
So I'm going to ask you a question, and I suggest that you consider your answer very carefully, because as far as I'm concerned, your answer will determine whether or not you become...
Because as far as I can tell, I'm the only one here with an office.
As far as I can tell, her record is spotless.
Mr. and Mrs. Wallowitz, as far as I can tell, your bag arrived in Los Angeles.
So as far as I can tell, it's a 50-50 proposition.
She's a woman balancing a lot on her plate. And as far as I can tell, doing a fantastic job.
From my perspective, truth be told, yeah.
From my perspective, I'd say that you do.
Well, from my perspective, that's how you two appear to me.
Well, from my perspective, you're that Titanic loser of a teacher I once had.
Look, in my opinion, it can't be done.
Okay, this is not going to work, in my opinion.
Madam President, in my opinion, people vote their hopes, not their fears.
It's not going to work if you just make a beeline for it, trust me.
He's making a beeline.
She makes a beeline straight for me.
You told her you're making a beeline here?
Customers come in the front door and make a beeline through the kitchen to...
She made a beeline towards me, and I was double checking. Like,
All right, so we'd have to beeline to DC.
So don't head straight for them.
I could walk out that door and head straight for old Mexico.
We need to go directly to the top.
Look, the money would have to go directly to you.
Once you've been scanned, please go directly to the exit.
That was a detour.
That was just a detour. A shortcut.
Do you mind if we make a detour?
Took a bit of a detour.
But can I take a detour with Nick?
afterward, I took a detour. Got rid of my shirt.
When you got the Christmas parade to make a detour to my house.
But you don't know what it's like to be better at something than everyone.
You don't know what it's like to feel completely frustrated.
You don't know what it's like to want something your whole life and to plan for it and to count on it and not get it.
You don't know what it's like to be me out here for you. You don't know what it's like to put your emotions out there, naked, for the whole world to see.
But you have no idea what it's like to live with you.
You have no idea what it's like to lose everything and to try and put it all back together again. You can't imagine what it's like to be separated from your family at such a young age.
And you can't imagine what it's like sitting next to someone who's crying on a plane for 10 straight hours.
You don't understand what it's like.
You don't understand what it's like to be a little boy's best friend, to be